I'm Mel.
And I'm Janelle.
And this is The Murder Mamas.
The Murder Mamas.
Welcome.
Wow, that felt weird.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been so long.
Yeah, we promised you an episode last week, and we didn't get you that one. I
So
didn't
if you're still waiting, thanks.
Thank you.
And sorry.
Not gonna
Life's
happen.
tough. I was sick.
Yeah.
And
I had no internet, so...
and Mel moved. She has no internet.
Yeah.
So it's been
rough.
It's been a thing.
But you know what? I've been checking our numbers, and they've been going up. Which is, I was kind of worried because we haven't posted in a while. So I was like, oh, our numbers are going to go, or they're just going to...
like stagnate.
Yeah. And no, they've gone up. They've steadily gone up each week.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm so surprised.
No, I'm surprised because I haven't checked the numbers in this entire time.
It's not a lot, but
I took a real vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're going, they're
nice.
They climb every day.
Well, thank you.
So thank
everyone
you. Yeah.
who's here. We're back. We're ready.
Back.
We're going to be back on schedule.
Hopefully, yeah.
Barring any natural disasters or sicknesses that come our way.
Yep.
I'm back. I'm ready. We're excited. I have a fun one about a terrible person.
Sweet.
To get us started.
Okay.
Anyways, how was your break? Let's real quick.
Okay. Yeah, it was good. So, we went to Dallas for Preston's baseball, and then we went to Costa Rica right after that, and that was really fun. It was long, but it was fun.
It was too long of a vacation for me, and I wasn't the person on vacation. Towards the end, I was texting you, are you coming home yet?
Yeah.
And you're like, why? Is everything okay? I'm like, I'm just codependent. I just miss my friend.
It was a lot. But we had fun. And then got home, and then we moved into a new house, and now we have a new puppy, and yeah.
He's so cute, Brucey.
Bruce.
The new pod
dog. Mascot, yeah.
Little Brucey. He's so cute.
Big ass ears. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And his big ass paws. I really like it when Auntie was like, so you can get a dog, but let's try and go 40 pounds or lower. And
yeah, you picked one that's going to be 112.
Just because you said that, I picked the biggest one. When have we ever, I've never owned a dog under 40 pounds, ever. Why would I choose to just pick one now? Ladybird's 60 pounds, and she's not that big. I consider her a normal-sized dog. She big?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Something
I don't know.
About Ladybird barks a lot.
She barks a lot. She's not mean.
No. She just barks a lot. That's why I love Luna. Luna, never barks.
Yeah.
And Coco is so annoying. I love you, and you're so cute, but please.
Shut the
I'm aware that I'm existing in my home. I don't need you to bark at me. I'm aware that I'm here.
Yep.
I'm also aware that you're here.
Yeah.
You can tell this by the fact that I'm petting you to let you know that I'm aware. I get your brain. It's very little. I understand. Anyway, so enough about dogs.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good vacation.
Yeah. And you went to the Bahamas.
I did go to the Bahamas for a whole week, which was too much time to be in the Bahamas. I like 4-day vacations. 4-day vacations, I think, are my max.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
Maybe 5, because you count the travel day, which
and if you're going somewhere nice, you want to have fun. So yeah.
But how many days can you go to the water park at Atlantis?
Right, for sure.
In a row.
Yeah.
And have it still seem exciting and fun and cool and a thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Which sounds so... This is a very annoying thing for me to be saying, and I understand that because it was a very nice vacation.
Yeah. In
a very beautiful place. But, I can only go to a water park so many days in a row.
Yeah.
That said, the beach in the Bahamas, top notch.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Big fan. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah. So anyways, happy to be back.
Yeah, happy to be back. We are back.
We are back.
Yes.
All right.
It's your case tonight.
It is. Are we ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, something that we need to talk about off air. I swear to God, if this summer ends and you do not go to the pool with me, I am going to throat punch you.
It's like 5 more days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, ours has like a climbing wall in
And
the
you,
pool.
like, fall into the pool?
I don't know. We walked down to where the pool is because again, I don't know how to drive there. Can't figure it out. But if you just walk down this street and then turn, it's right there. And then we walk by and there's like a slide and a diving board, and then there's just this big wall.
Is your diving board open?
I don't
Because
know.
our diving board's been closed.
Oh,
And it's a big problem for my children.
yeah. Well, you could go to another pool.
Okay. You need to cut all of this out because this is why I said we need to talk about this offline. But, like, if you do not go to the pool with me at least once before the summer ends, I will throat punch you.
Okay. Ooh.
And you can leave that.
It's fucked up.
I know. That's how furious I am about this. Very angry. Okay. Da-da-da. Let's go. Tonight we're talking about Ariel. I want to call him Ariel. Ariel Castro.
Like Ariel the mermaid.
I know.
Isn't that the right?
I feel like her dad calls her Ariel
Oh, yeah.
in the original.
Yeah.
Ariel!
Yeah.
King Triton, I can hear him yelling it because I watched that VHS tape probably 1,000 times as a small child.
Me too.
And I can literally hear King Triton. Ariel!
Yeah.
And Sebastian, he also says it.
Yeah.
Ariel!
Yeah.
Anyways, so Ariel Castro, not a Disney princess. Okay. He was born in Puerto Rico on July 10th, 1960. What a cancer. So he was born in Puerto Rico. He's the son of Pedro Castro and Lillian Rodriguez. He was not born into, like, a great, stable family.
Right.
They divorced when he was pretty young, and he moved with his mom and biological siblings, 3 of them.
Okay.
They moved to Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
And then they moved from Pennsylvania to Cleveland, Ohio, which is where his father and, like, several other family members were living.
Okay.
So initially he lived in Pennsylvania for a short amount of time, and then they settled in Cleveland.
Okay.
So he did some really terrible things, and, like, his case, when you look it up some places, it's like the Cleveland kidnapping cases, the Cleveland horror house, a few different names for it.
Yeah.
He meets a girlfriend. Her name is Grimilda Figueroa.
Okay.
And they lived across the street from each other in the 80s. They end up getting married. And they live with, like, their parents. But then they get their own house, which is located at 2207 Seymour Avenue. Okay. And that's in Cleveland's Tremont neighborhood, which is, like, has a lot of immigrants.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
one of the 80s.
They actually moved in 1992.
Oh, okay.
Their house is it's like a little 2-story house. It's 1,400 square feet. Okay. 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom.
Ooh.
Why? Ooh. And it has a 760 square foot unfinished basement. So, like, a huge basement.
Yeah.
The house was originally built in 1890. It's one of those old houses.
Yeah, that's cool.
They moved in and they started having a family. And Castro is not great to his wife. He does, like, a lot of not great domestic violence stuff.
So they were not together, and then when they moved to Ohio, they got back together? Or
No. He lived in Ohio as a kid when he first moved to America.
Oh, no. Okay.
They lived with their parents, like, respectively, across the street.
Okay.
And then they bought this house together.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when they bought the house together and lived together, her sister says, quote unquote, all hell started breaking loose. Okay. He beats her. He breaks her nose, her ribs, her arms. It's said that he even, like, beats her so bad that he causes a blood clot in her brain, which then results in her developing, like, a brain tumor. So he is a not great guy.
No, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, not great to his wife. Damn. He threw her down a flight of stairs, cracked her skull.
Nice. What a piece of shit.
A year after moving into their home together at 2207 Seymour Avenue. He gets arrested for domestic violence.
Okay, good.
But is not indicted by a jury.
Ugh.
In October of 1996, Grimilda moves out of the house and secures custody of their 4 children.
That's good.
Police help her move and like detain Castro, but they didn't press any charges. So he threatens, basically they just sort of like let him go.
Yeah, they like threw her out, like good luck.
No, she wanted to leave.
Well, no, I know, but like
So they like assisted her. I don't understand the judicial system. Ariel continues to like threaten and attack her after she leaves. She files charges in 2005 for like frequently abducting their daughters and like inflicting severe injuries on her.
That's horrifying.
She does get granted a temporary restraining order, but then it gets dismissed a few months later.
I'm sure she's covered in bruises and shit. Like, are we not? What's happening?
That's
ridiculous.
I don't fully know. They weren't together at the time, but like he continued to harass her and stuff. I'm not exactly sure. She ends up dying in 2012 from complications from her inoperable brain tumor they say was caused by a clot he gave her during one of her beatings.
Murder.
He doesn't get charged with her murder.
No.
I don't think, but he gets charged with like a ton of things.
But still,
so
she deserves justice too.
We're just getting started.
Okay.
Another thing about him is that he is a bus driver.
Okay. A children's bus driver?
A children's bus driver for elementary school children.
Okay. How did he get that job?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He continues this job for up until about 6 months before he gets found in his house of horrors.
Oh, good. Okay.
So the entire time that he does all of these horrible things that he does, he is driving people's children every day.
Yeah, that's scary.
That is a horrifying thought to me.
Because there's got to be shit on his background, I'm assuming.
Like domestic violence.
Or like domestic violence or any, like, I'm sure he's got, like, he doesn't sound like a good guy. So at some point he got arrested for some other shit too, I would think.
I don't think so.
No? I'm not gonna look at
I don't think so, though.
I mean, that's just me assuming, like, if he's that violent with his family, he probably has done something else.
I mean, so he does a lot of questionable things while being a bus driver. Okay. Like he makes an illegal U-turn with infants and toddlers on the bus.
Infants?
He uses his bus to go grocery shopping. He leaves a child on the bus while he goes...
I'm not laughing. Sorry.
Are you...
I'm sorry. Oh, it's fucked up.
The grocery shopping?
No, I'm leaving the kid on the bus.
Oh, no. So he can go to lunch at KFC.
Oh, shit. At least he could have brought the kid in with him.
He told the kid to duck down so no one would see him. Stop laughing.
It's not funny.
He told the kid to duck down so no one would see him, but then the kid, like, was marked absent from school for a certain amount of time, and the parents, like, filed a complaint because the kid's like, yeah, he took me to KFC. And then he gets suspended for 60 days for that incident.
Oh, nice.
And then he also, like, leaves his bus unattended. I couldn't determine if there were children on the bus at the time while he took a nap at home. So he's just, like, a really...
I do what I want.
Yeah. So finally, after all of those very major incidents, in my opinion...
those are pretty big when you're talking about kids.
He loses his job. But again, this is, like... at the end of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So, with that said, we're going to jump right into the horrible shit.
Okay.
There's no murder.
Oh.
There's like really terrible things. There's a lot of sexual assault.
Okay.
There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of those kinds of things. There are survivors.
Yeah.
So.
But he did kill his wife, technically, right?
I mean,
if it was caused, if the doctor said it was caused
I
from
don't
the
know
blood
if a doctor said that.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if that's her sister saying that.
Okay.
Like, it's very, you know, like, I didn't look at her medical records.
No?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
So, anyways, trigger warning. He's a bad good dude, and there's a lot of bad stuff that happens.
Good trigger warning.
Again, it's sexual assault, it's rape, it's some torture, it's physical violence, it's...
Yep.
On August 22nd, 2002, and every time I looked at this, my brain kept turning into 2022.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this couldn't have been 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a really hard time processing that. Made me feel very, very old.
Yeah, you're not old.
Okay, so, but on that date, Michelle Knight is a 20-year-old. A bunch of sources said 21-year-old, but she directly said out of her mouth that she was 20 when she got kidnapped.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with what she said.
Yeah, she probably knows.
And that she was 20.
Yeah.
She was running late for like an appointment with a social worker because she had lost custody of her son.
Okay.
The reason she had lost custody of her son is because her mother's boyfriend had like fractured his kneecap. He was like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So they took him to the emergency room and he gets put in foster care. But she's working because she wasn't even present when like the damage happened. So she's like, yeah. So she's working to try and get her son back.
Yeah.
I read a lot about her and like her life before Ariel is so shitty that she says like it's the only reason she made it through.
Wow.
Her decade, 11 years being captive.
Yeah.
With him because
she had such a shitty...
In her own words, you can't break someone twice.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah. She says that she's fought to overcome, like, the trauma of sexual abuse by a male relative. She lived on the streets before, like, as a 14-year-old, she moved out of the house.
Oh, my God.
Because she couldn't live in her house anymore.
Better to be on the streets.
Correct. That's what she said. Like,
that's horrible.
She said... She loved growing up in Cleveland, Ohio, but she hated her life at home. We didn't have a couch to sit on. We didn't have a stove. Just to give us a hot, warm meal, I had to cook on a space heater. Ugh. It takes 4 hours to cook a hot dog.
Oh, shit.
She was, like, really, what's the word? Parentified by her parent. Yeah. Like, she was raising her younger siblings. Yeah. Her younger brother says she had always been there to help us. So anyways, she had like a ton of, like a very traumatic upbringing with a lot of emotional abuse.
Sounds like it.
She says she left when she was 14. She lived in a garbage can, took a blanket from somebody's back porch, cuddled up with it. Like there's a bridge. What does she say?
Oh, God.
Where I can hear cars going past, the vibrations just, help me be calm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then she said that she ends up seeking refuge in a local Baptist church. They give her food and clothes and a place to bathe. And she also says that her relationship with God is what helps her get through as well.
Well, that's good.
And so anyway, so like she has a very, very, very hard upbringing.
Yeah.
So then in 2002, I mean, it's really hard for my brain to process 2002.
Yeah.
So she's going to that appointment and she's like lost because they gave her the wrong directions.
Oh, fuck.
And she hears a male voice say to her, "Can I give you a ride?"
No.
And she looks and she's like, "Oh, I recognize this man as being a friend's dad."
Oh, okay.
yes, you can give me a ride.
Yeah.
I would love a ride. I'm just needing to go here. He's like, I know exactly where that is and I'll get you there so you're on time. And she's like, thank God. Like, I get to make it to the meeting. I get my son back. Like, thank God. And he's like, but my dog just had puppies. So, like, we got to check on the puppies real quick at my house. And, like, some other ruse. I can't remember exactly. Like, I'm pretty sure it was just the puppies. Yeah. And he's also like, and you can have a puppy if you want one. You can give it to your son because her son's dog had passed away. Yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, I guess that seems okay. Yeah. Well, no. They get to the house. Fuck. And there's no dogs. Right. There's no puppies.
I'd be so pissed. Where are the fucking puppies?
And so then, he gets there and immediately he, like, rips up. He's just very cruel. He takes a picture, the only picture she had of her son, takes it, rips it, and was like, you're not going to leave for a long time. He begins undressing himself. And she's just, like, begging him, like, please just let me go. Like, please, I need to get to my son. This can't happen. Like, please, please, please. Yeah. And he said, you will never see him, as he ripped the picture of her son.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So he gets her to the house and he puts her in the basement, I believe. And he binds her with, like, an extension cord wrapped around her legs, arms, and neck. He put a sock in her mouth. And then I think he also put, like, a motorcycle helmet over her head. Yeah. I'm not sure if he did that at this point, but she says that, like, certain kinds of, like, napkins give her PTSD, like cloth napkins, because they're the same material or, like, texture. Yeah. As the ones that were put in her mouth and then put the helmet on.
For sure, yeah.
Because she wouldn't be able to breathe and it, like, causes that, like, reaction. Yep. He ends up raping her multiple times a day and he puts on, like, music is blaring in his house constantly to drown out all of the noises. Right. She says of her mental state during the rapes, it was difficult. I had to go blank. Anytime he was doing anything to me, I had to put myself in a different place. Yeah. Which I feel like happens a lot.
I'm sure.
So he keeps her in the house. He barely feeds her. She says that she didn't get a bath for 8 months.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like, really is barely feeding her. She's not allowed to use the restroom. Ugh. He's, like, she's constantly chained.
Oh my God.
But she also is, like, very mouthy. And
Had a girl.
Unfortunately, she gets punished a lot for being that way. Sure. And so she gets a lot of beatings from him. Like, over the years where she's his captive, she says that she was impregnated 5 times by him.
Oh, God.
And he forced her to miscarry by hitting her in the stomach with barbells.
Oh, shit.
Throwing her down the stairs. Just all kinds of really terrible things. My brain wants to talk about it now, but I want to hold on to it. Yeah. I want to talk about her condition when she gets found, but I think I'm going to wait. And I'm going to move on to the next person. Okay. So he has her captive this whole time. Like, he's keeping her captive. Okay. And the strangest thing to me, I'm sort of jumping around, but the strangest thing to me is, like, he says that all of these were a, like, crime of opportunity, and he had no end game for them.
Oh, shit. So he didn't, like, plan this out and...
No, which is why she was, like, originally wrapped up with an extension cord.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to say, like, I don't know if he never thought about it.
I'm sure he thought, but it wasn't, like, a planned,
like,
detailed...
okay, I'm going to get her because I know that this will...
He like, wasn't stalking his victims beforehand.
It was, like, he says all of them were just... opportunity.
Wow.
He holds her captive, but, like, it's not enough. He wants someone else. Because, probably because she's kind of mouthy. And, like, she says it. Like, she was treated the worst. I was going to say the most poorly, but that didn't really sound well. She was treated the worst and like had the harshest punishments because she would fight back.
Yeah.
But then in April of 2003, and I want to say it was like April 21st. Yep. Of 2003, he finds Amanda Berry. She was 16. Her birthday is April 22nd. It was one day away from her 17th birthday.
Oh, man.
And she was walking home from her job at the Burger King.
Yeah.
She's described as like a very hard worker. She told her sister, so she was like on her cell phone, and she told her sister at around 8 p.m. that she was getting a ride home from her job at the Burger King.
Okay.
And the police, she doesn't come home, obviously. Mm-hmm. And the police initially are like, she's a runaway.
Yeah.
Oh, I also forgot to mention about Michelle Knight. The police did almost nothing to find her. Almost nothing. Because she was 20 and or 21, depending on who you ask. Right. Even her. They were like, even her family doesn't look for her.
Oh, shit.
They were like, yeah. They were like, she must have just got too stressed out about the custody case with her son and, like, left.
Oh.
The police said, they admit, like, we did not use a lot of resources to locate her. They remove her from the, like, national crime database 15 months after she disappeared.
Wow.
When she gets rescued, they, like, didn't know. They weren't able to locate her because they never even made her, like, a missing person, really. Wow. It's very, like, to me, that's extremely sad.
Can you imagine, like, figuring that out? Like, you've been gone for so long and being tortured, and then, like, knowing they're like, we don't know who the fuck this person is. Not a missing person.
She has no contact with any of her family. By her choice.
Oh, okay.
She was like, now that she's out, she was like, no. Okay. So then he gets Amanda and he does the same thing. He's like, hey, do you want to ride? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, I recognize you as being this girl I went to middle school with's dad. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, do you want to come and see her? Like, she's at the house and I'll take you to see her. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah. Sounds good.
Why not?
Yeah. And obviously that's not the case.
Yep.
She says, Amanda, she says, I almost called off work that day because the next day was my birthday. You know what? What if I would have called off work that day? Yeah. Yeah. So she's walking home. She finds that car and she says yes. She gets in the van and then he takes her to the house and like she walks in and he's like, oh, my daughter must be taking a bath. She's
okay.
Like, okay. So he's like, we'll just wait. And then he started showing her around the house. Yeah. And she says, quote unquote, and I never got back out. Ugh. So he takes her upstairs and he like showed her Michelle.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Sleeping in a bedroom in front of a black and white TV set.
Yeah.
And then he takes her to the next bedroom and she says it was just really dark in there and he didn't turn on the lights. There was a little room off of the bigger bedroom, kind of a big closet. And he took me in there. He told me to pull down my pants. And from there, I knew, like, this was not going to be good. Yeah. And so then she became the second prisoner. Yeah. He takes her down to the basement from that bedroom. And he taped her wrist and ankles and put a belt around her ankles over the tape. So he put a helmet over her head. Okay. And said, just be quiet, the motorcycle helmet. Don't make any noise, and I'll take you home. Yeah. Chained her to a pole, shut the lights off, and left her in the dark with a TV. Ugh. Yeah. So she said that...
She in the same room with...
No, she's in the basement.
Oh, okay.
And Michelle's upstairs.
Okay.
She said that she started screaming and crying and just yelling, somebody help me, but nothing. Yeah. ever happened. So the news of her abduction, like hers make headlines, even though the police treat it as like a runaway.
Yeah.
They start to, I mean, her family's like, she would never run away. She wouldn't have run away the day before her 17th birthday.
Right.
Like,
She was excited. Yeah.
There's no reason. She
Yeah.
had a job. She was hardworking. Like, we're a close family.
Mm-hmm.
So a few days into her abduction, she saw her mom and sister on the TV in the basement.
Oh, God,
like,
that's horrible.
You know, when they do, like, the press conferences, like, pleading for the return.
Yeah.
But she said, that kept me going. I'm going to make it home to you. As long as you fight, I'm going to fight.
Oh.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
And a lot of really sad shit happens with, like, I'll get there.
Okay.
I keep wanting to, I just want to, like, say it all at once. So she talks about, like, how hard it was because she was, like, chained around her stomach. And so, like, trying to find a way to, like, even rest for a minute.
Right. Yeah.
And comfortably, like, you have to move this entire chain and, like, you can't sleep. Like, just really, like, uncomfortable shit. So she gets moved upstairs and then is chained to a radiator. And he says, like, he asks her, like, can I get you something from the store? Like some coloring books or something like that to pass time. And she's like, yeah, like a coloring book and maybe like a journal.
Yeah.
So she starts writing a very detailed journal with the intention that police will read it one day.
Sure.
And she
It's
sets
a good idea.
She's smart.
Yeah.
She sets up a code in the journal that equates to the amount of times that she got raped that day.
Oh.
Without saying, like, I've been raped this many times.
Yeah, because they'll read it and then just throw it away. Yeah.
And so, like, I was watching this interview she did, and it was like, on this day, you put 7X. So was that meaning you got raped? I'm like, why do you need to ask for that? Like,
yeah.
Why are we talking? Like,
It doesn't matter what that means.
Yeah. So she wrote her first entry, and this is what it says. You never know what you got till it's gone. I just can't wait to go home. I'm 17 now, but I don't have a life. But he told me I'm young and we'll go home before summer. Another 2 months.
Ugh.
Exclamation point.
Oof.
A week after she's abducted, he uses her cell phone and calls her family and says, I have Mandy, which nobody called her but her family.
Yeah.
And she wants to be with me, but like she's safe and she'll be home soon.
Okay.
And hangs up. And the FBI gets within 2 blocks of his house. But it's 2003, so like they haven't really refined all of that technology yet. And so they would have been able to locate the location of the cell phone if it was on, but it was never turned on again.
Off. Yeah.
But like 2 blocks.
Yeah, that's so close.
Literally living in like horrific conditions.
That's horrible.
She lives in a room the size of a closet. The mattress is disgusting. There's bed bugs. There's roaches. It's really dirty. It's disgusting. They are not allowed to use the bathroom. They get fed once a day. At this point, they get to shower twice a week.
Oh, that's good.
Well, sometimes, but he'll be like, oh, you need a shower? And then he'll shower with them. So, like, not great.
Yeah.
They had to use a bucket for the bathroom. Gross. That he would empty when he felt like it.
Oh, God.
So it wasn't, like, daily. She says she had to numb herself to the sexual abuse. Like, you put your mind somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so a few months into her being captive, he made her like a promise. And he would tell her that when he got another girl in the house, I will take you home.
Okay.
And she believed him. Like, she held on to it, you know? And then on April 2nd, 2004, Gina DeJesus was 14.
Oh.
She was very close friends with his daughter, Arlene, and she goes missing. So her and Arlene had been walking home from middle school together.
Yeah.
And they had called Arlene, the mom, and were like, can I sleep over at Gina's house tonight?
Yeah.
And her mom's like, no, because you're grounded. So they separate.
Okay.
She didn't have enough bus fare to get home. So she had to walk.
Yeah.
And it was like 40 blocks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What?
Very far. I hope I'm not lying. I want to say her mom said 40 blocks from the school.
That's too much.
That seems really far to me, but like I also don't know how long a block is because like I'm not from a city.
No,
but I'm from the suburbs.
It still sounds like a lot though.
And it was through like not great areas, some commercial areas,
Yeah.
and like some areas with prostitution.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
So she's making that walk, and a car pulls up.
Yep.
And says, "Have you seen my daughter?" She immediately recognizes him because it's her very good friend's dad.
Yeah.
And also her dad's friend.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, she should just be right around the corner. Like, we were just together. Can you help me find her? And she says, sure.
Sure.
And then they drive to his house. And she's like, he asks her for help moving some equipment.
Okay.
But she's like nervous because says that he's acting really bizarre.
Yeah.
She says that he's fixing his eyebrows, trimming his mustache, and like cutting his nose hairs.
Ew. Okay.
And then he starts to like touch her.
Ugh.
And she says, what are you doing? You could go to jail. And he like switches. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to go. You're going to go home now. But you can't go through the same door you came in. So they were inside the house at this point.
Okay.
And he leads her to the basement.
Ugh.
Where he grabs her and chains her up. But he didn't make it tight enough. So she like threw it over and like tried to run, but he sat on her. And she was like kicking him. So she really fought.
Yeah.
Not unfortunately, he overpowers her.
Yeah.
And then the first few weeks of her being like captive, he doesn't do anything. Like he doesn't rape her like he did the other ones.
Okay.
He just talks to her and like touches her. And she knows for a fact that the first time she got raped was on May 7th, 2004. She won't talk about the details of it though. She says it's too painful.
Yeah.
But she remembers the exact date. So she's like his new favorite. And she says, I hated him.
Yeah.
But I pretended like I was his friend.
Yeah.
So he would be kinder to me. Like
You do what you have to do.
I hated him.
Yeah.
That's what he said. She, like, he would purposefully mess with them mentally to make it so that they would argue and fight with each other.
Yeah.
Like the girls.
Pitting them against each other. Yeah.
Like he would deprive them.
Yeah.
And then like favor one and then deprive the other. But he would also do things like all the doors in his house had like locks on the insides and the outsides. So he would like leave a door unlocked. To see if they would try to escape.
Right.
And then obviously you're going to try, right?
Right.
And then he would beat the shit out of them.
Ugh.
For like trying to escape.
Yeah.
That comes into play at one point. So like he would give them more food, less food, different clothes, like really simple things. But in that moment, like that's all you're holding on to.
Well, they have.
She tells a story where he asked her to play Russian roulette with him.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
And she's like,
nothing.
I have nothing to lose. So, okay.
Yeah.
So he goes first, he pulls, nothing happens. And then it's her turn. And he's like, let me pray. And she's like, what are you going to pray about?
Yeah.
And so then she pulls the trigger and like nothing happens.
Ooh, yeah.
But like, she was like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like,
I could see that.
he was really fucked up because they lived in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
He claims he didn't know that.
Come on.
He didn't know that his daughter was her friend. Sure.
Yeah. So does his kid not live with him?
No.
Like, okay.
No, the mom has full custody of them.
Okay, yeah.
So he would go and like ask, because her family searched for her so much and like never gave up hope.
Yeah.
They didn't even put out a fucking Amber Alert when she was abducted.
Wow.
Which her dad was super pissed about.
No shit.
But like he would go and like help search.
Ugh, that's the worst.
Pick flyers. Ugh. Showed her the flyer that her mom gave her.
Oh my God.
And she was like, can I have it? Because she said if I knew that my mom touched it, I could feel connected to her.
Ugh. Wow.
And she kept it. Until the day she got free.
Wow.
She kept the flyer.
Oh,
like the missing flyer of her.
Ugh, man. That's rough.
Yeah. Which makes me want to go back to Amanda Berry. Her mom and family, like, they continued to search for her. They never lost hope.
Yeah.
Her mom went on a talk show where there was a psychic, I want to say it was Sylvia Brown, who told her, like, she's dead, basically.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And, like, her mom ends up dying in 2006, so, like, never knew that her daughter was still alive. Yeah. Like, died thinking. And even her family says, like, my mom was convinced that Amanda was dead because of what the psychic said. And when she died, she found peace knowing that she would be with Amanda again.
Right. Oh, God.
Isn't that so
That's
sad?
Really sad.
Had them in separate bedrooms on the second floor, but he put them all in one room on one day and made them watch America's Most Wanted together about Gina and Amanda's missing persons cases because they had finally like linked that like maybe something was happening in Cleveland where like these girls are going missing and well they're like closer in age, you know, 16 and 14 and then you have like the older one, and so like their families were interviewed and they like had to watch all of it. God. So do you remember how I told you that Michelle has like 5 abortions basically, like he forces them, he let Amanda deliver a baby. So when Amanda was 20, she's like, maybe I'm pregnant. Like she realized she hadn't had a period in a long time and was like getting sick a lot. But she says like, I wasn't even eating, like how could I be pregnant? But she ends up having a baby.
Wow.
She delivers the baby on Christmas Day. And he, like, puts up a little baby pool for her to deliver the baby in because he doesn't want it to be messy. Calls in Michelle and is like, hey, deliver this baby and if it dies, I kill you.
Oh, fuck.
And she's like,
what?
I don't know how to deliver a fucking baby. But, like, all she did was talk to her. Like, okay, calm down, you're okay. And said that he sat in a rocking chair reading a book about like birth.
Wow.
During this whole process. A few hours later, she has a daughter. Her name's Jocelyn. And she says like, this is his kid. Like, how can I feel knowing this is him? But it's also like, she's mine. Have you ever seen the movie The Room with Brie Larson?
I don't know.
She's held captive. In like a basement shetty type thing of this guy's house. And it's very similar. So it's like her son. She has a son with the guy. And it's like trying to get out. And then it's like her life after they get free. And it's like her life after they get free. It kind of
sounds familiar.
It's actually a very good movie. But that's sort of like the vibe I get from this a little bit. Jocelyn plays a big part in their discovery, like I don't know, their release from captivity. And the other women say that like it made it easier having the baby around because she like it's a distraction, you know, like Gina says it was fun because like again it's a distraction, so like, and it's like kids can be cute, you know. And Amanda once Jocelyn turned 5, like Amanda would do fake kindergarten with her. So they would like walk through this area and like pretend like she was dropping her off at school, and then like pretend to be the teacher and like teach her everything she needed to know. Like really like such a good mom.
Yeah.
And but through all of this, right? Like it's still the same stuff. He's still abusing them. He's still raping them. He's still doing all of those things. But he never let Jocelyn know any of their names, and never, because he would take Jocelyn out in public saying it's like his girlfriend's kid or his granddaughter, like all these different excuses.
Sure.
And didn't want her to be able to say any of their names.
Right. Wow. That sucks.
But like it would take her to church, and also he would have people over at his house.
What? Seriously?
Yes. I'm like, he said that he would like lock things because of like, he would have all these different reasons.
Right.
But like he was a bass player in like a band and would have his band over regularly to play. Wow. Yeah. I'm like, if I walked into anyone's house and it was like lock central, I would be like,
I gotta go.
I think I'm super busy actually, and I have to leave immediately.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
That's the brightest red flag.
Right.
Anyway, so Jocelyn gets to leave the house. She gets to do all of those things. They don't get to do any of those things. And that's kind of just like their life for a very long time.
Yeah.
Until May 6th, 2013. Jocelyn goes downstairs because she's allowed to move freely through the house, but the other ones are chained up. Okay. Except for Amanda. She's not chained up either. Okay. The other ones are, because she has to care for Jocelyn during the day. So she goes downstairs, she runs back up, and she's like, I don't find Daddy. Like, Daddy's nowhere. And Amanda's like, okay. Like, is he testing? She's like, go check the garage. Go check the backyard. Like, check all these places. And she's like, no. His blue car's gone. He's not here. Daddy's gone. He's not here. He's not here. And she's like, okay. So then her bedroom door was unlocked. Oh. But he used to do this to test them. Yeah. So she's like, is he fucking testing me? Yeah. But then she does it. She goes downstairs and the front door was open. Fuck. Yeah. But there's like a screen or like a storm door or whatever on it. Yeah. But normally the front door has he hand wired an alarm. Oh, so the alarm's not on and the door's open. Yeah. And she's like, is this a fucking test? So she was like, first she was going to try and like pound the door like off the hinges. But she's like, no, because if he comes back, he'll notice. Right. So she, and it was padlocked shut. So, like, there's no way that she was going to get it open. But she, like, tries to... She's like, okay, this should be pretty easy because it's, like, a screen door, right? So she's, like, trying to get her arm out. And there's, like, a little hole where she can get her arm out. Oh, God. So she's at the door with her arm out, screaming for anyone. Like, please, come here. Like, help, 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 help. And a neighbor comes over but can't understand anything. Or she says that he was too afraid to intervene. So I saw like different things, but because he only spoke Spanish. Okay. And then another neighbor, Charles Ramsey, shows up and he's like trying to pull the door, but he can't get it open. And so he kicks it and they like kick a hole in the bottom. Yeah. And Jocelyn and Barry, like they get out from under that little hole and they run across the street, and she calls the police, and this is what she says to them. I actually have a call, like well, I'm going to read you what she says, but she says, help me. I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years and I'm here. I'm free. Yeah. Like and she's like, you can hear the urgency in her voice because they're like, who do you need? Police? She's like, yes, we need police now before he gets back. Oh, God. But like, please send them now before he gets back. So even free. Yeah. She's terrified of him. Sure. And that's the other thing that all three of them mention is like, how much are we going to try? Because there's always the possibility that he'll just fucking kill all of us.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure, yeah.
Like, sure, he's been keeping us here for 10 years, but like, what if he decides that this is too much fucking work?
Yeah. What you could do?
We're all going to be dead.
Yeah. Wow. God, that's scary.
So the police show up and they like get the door, you know? None of them have any idea like why the door was left unlocked. They have no clue. Like, was it a mistake? Was it an oversight? Also, he was about to get the house foreclosed on because he hadn't paid taxes in 3 years.
Huh.
So imagine foreclosing on that house.
Yeah.
So the police get there and they go inside and they start looking and Michelle like sees a badge and runs to the cops and is like, please never let me go. So then they all get free. They take them to the hospital and like everything I listened to and said or like watched and read was saying that like neighbors were shocked that there were people in this house because all the windows were boarded up. They weren't even sure if it was like someone was still living there.
Shit. That's horrible.
Amanda talks about like seeing the sun for the first time in 10 years.
Yeah,
and she's like, it just felt so hot.
Yeah.
Like, Gina is much paler than she ever would be or like on her missing, but she doesn't even look like the same person.
Yeah.
When they show up, Michelle Knight is in such poor condition. She has like extremely bad bacterial infection from, you know, the condition she was living in.
Yeah.
She weighs 84 pounds.
Holy shit.
They thought she was a child.
Holy shit.
Because of how small she is. She's not a very tall woman.
Right.
But she's very little.
Yeah.
Like, extremely thin, extremely malnourished. Yeah. She has nerve damage from all the beatings, like, in her hands. Her face was so... I don't want to use the word disfigured because that sounds really bad, but like her face was so many unhealed broken bones, incorrectly healed that she had to get facial reconstruction surgery.
Wow. Yeah.
But that's the end. So the police like they put out an APB and they find him in a McDonald's parking lot like almost immediately. Nice. He's driving a little blue Mazda Miata. They arrest him and he's like, yeah, like I did it, I guess.
I guess.
But he doesn't say that it was like, he never like says he was a bad guy. Like he even when they confront him in court, he's like, none of them were virgins. Like somehow
so they deserve
like somehow that made it okay.
No.
He was real fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, what I was going to say that I didn't mention previously is that he had been visited on 2 separate occasions by the police department.
Oh.
But like they would come and they would knock and no one would answer and he would just like leave.
Yeah.
So
that's messed up.
Yeah. So it was very, very weird. Well, like, also twice, don't you think you follow up a few more times?
Right.
Okay, so he gets arrested. He's initially charged with 4 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of rape, and all of that carries 10 years to life.
Good.
He has like brothers that are initially taken into custody with him, but they're immediately released because they're like, we knew nothing about this.
Right.
Like,
don't fucking pin that shit on me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he gets bail set at $8 million. Like that is a ridiculously high bail amount. They're gonna seek the death penalty. Yeah. And then there's also like additional charges of aggravated murder, attempted murder, assault, and a charge for each instance of rape.
Nice.
And kidnapping charge for each day each captive was held. So like a fuck ton. They're just throwing them everything they can at him.
Good.
His attorney says he will plead not guilty to all charges if indicted for kidnapping and rape. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, like, well, you did it.
Yeah.
So he returned, the grand jury returns a bill of indictment against him on June 7th. It contains 329 counts, 2 of aggravated murder.
Shit.
And it only covered a period from August 2022 to February 2007.
2002.
Thank you. It's so hard for me to do that. I don't know why. Like, 2002 is so hard for me.
Yeah.
So, a ton of accounts. They, he puts in a not guilty plea, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But he's also, like, we're sensitive to the emotional strain. He's found competent to stand trial.
Yeah.
And this trial, I feel like, goes really quick.
Yeah.
Like, this is July 12th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like 2 months.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick, right?
They have them.
So the grand jury returned a true bill of indictment for the remainder of the period after 2007, which brought the total charges to 977 counts.
Wow.
512 counts of kidnapping, 446 of rape, 7 of gross sexual imposition, 6 of felonious assault, 3 of child endangerment, 2 of aggravated murder, and 1 of possession of criminal tools.
Wow.
But he pleaded not guilty. He faced the death by lethal injection if he's convicted. He gets convicted to 937 of the 977 charges against him.
Good.
His sentence is life in prison plus 1,000 years.
Good.
All without all without parole.
Nice.
He forfeits his right to appeal.
Yeah.
He cannot profit from any way due to his crimes.
Yeah.
He forfeits his asset, including his house. The house gets demolished.
Good.
And I was listening to something that on Google Maps, it's like blurred out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's still up there. But he also like weirdly tells them that there's like money in the house for them. And they like find a few $1,000s. And he's like, I want this to go to the survivors.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, like, oh, okay.
Uh-uh.
Like somehow your couple $1,000 is gonna
make everything okay.
Yeah, like pay for all of that. So he's just like a complete fucking dickhead. He gets a ton of sentencing. And the worst part is he's only in jail for 1 month.
What?
Because he kills himself.
Oh.
On September 3rd, 2013, he's found hanging from a bedsheet in his detention cell. But he is found with his pants around his ankles.
Okay.
So they thought that maybe he wasn't trying to commit suicide and he was trying to
Oh, shit. Ew.
erotic
Gross.
asphyxiation himself.
Yeah.
Not sure, but he gets cremated.
Goodbye.
And that's the end of him. The house, like I said, the house gets demolished. The survivors have gone on to live, they've written books about their time there. They did a lot of media stuff a while ago. Yeah. I didn't find anything super recent.
Yeah.
They're just kind of trying to go on and live their life. One thing that I found really striking is Amanda is asked by an attorney, like, what do you want? You said you wanted 2 things, and what are they? Yeah. And she says, I want a tombstone for my mother, because her mom didn't have one.
Yeah.
And I want a birth certificate for my daughter. And those were the only 2 things she wanted. Yeah. After all of that.
Yeah.
That's it.
What a piece of shit. Wow.
So bad. It's like crazy to think that those kinds of things can just happen. Yeah. In any neighborhood at any time.
And it was like their friend's dad.
I mean, it's like girls they went to school with. Well, except for the last girl, except for Gina.
Still.
But like, I just saw something where, while I was looking at this, just recently, someone escaped from like a cinder block dungeon.
Yeah, I think I saw
in
that.
a basement in Washington or Oregon. Like, This shit happens all
it's insane.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, like, if they did a more thorough fucking job.
Yeah. They would have come up with something.
Maybe they could have tried to find something. There were a few different, like, sketches that went out. But, like, nothing.
Wow. That's insane.
It's just... And you know what's sad? The... Michelle, she, her son got adopted.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because they thought she was, like, disappeared or dead.
Yeah.
They just sort of wrote her off.
That's horrible.
So she wants to see him, but, like, didn't want to bring him into all of it. So she said that she planned to see him after he becomes an adult.
Mm-hmm.
She can't have kids because of all of the torture.
Wow.
So she plans to adopt children. She's married now.
Oh, good.
And she actually seemed really, like, she seems very strong.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Wow. That was a good one.
That's it. Oh, also, actually, wait. I want to add that Gina started a nonprofit in Cleveland for other people who go missing.
That's awesome.
So
That's cool.
about Amber Alerts specifically, because they didn't issue one for her.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do we just write these people off?
Right.
It's crazy to me.
It is crazy.
I didn't realize it was 10 p.m. All right, that's it. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram at
The Murder Mamas.
Facebook,
The M Mamas.
Twitter,
The Murder Mamas.
email.
TheMurderMamas@gmail.com.
And if you like us and are happy with our content, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We would appreciate it. Bye.